Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Josh from Game Day Nation. And with the NFL 2023 draft just going by, just ending this past week, we got to talk about how only one player was drafted in the 2023 NFL draft. First off, let's give a round of applause to Isaiah Bowden for being the only player selected in the 2023 draft. Congratulations, man, for real. Super proud of you, excited for you, and I'm excited to see what you do with your career. Hoping for the best. Yes, just because one player got selected, multiple other players were signed as undrafted free agents. You got my guy Aubrey Miller getting signed. You got Shaq Davis getting signed. Isaiah Land, Xavier Smith. You got some CIAA guys getting signed. A lot of people got signed. If you haven't seen them, go check it out at HBCUGameday on Instagram. And we got articles going up as well. If you don't follow us on the gram, what are you honestly doing? What are you doing? Not following us on Instagram is like, it's like not going to Fried Chicken Wednesday. Like why would you not go to Fried Chicken Wednesday with the friends? Like everybody going to Fried Chicken Wednesday, so why you not? Everybody follow Game Day, so why you don't? But let's get into the video, man. Yes, only one player was drafted in the NFL draft, and I wanted to figure out why was that. But instead of us as a crew, Game Day, trying to figure out why was that, we wanted to hear you guys' opinion. We love to hear you guys' opinion. We want to get you guys more involved. We want to hear you guys' opinions and speak your guys' voice. So we was like, you know what? Why don't we ask our audience what they think? And y'all actually came up with some very good responses that we're going to go through right now. Starting off, we're going to start off with my guy, Mason_the_wordsmith. He said, some, not all, scouts take the easy route and draft safely, aka picking based off the program. Now, what he's basically trying to say is that a lot of these scouts and a lot of these GMs, rather than taking a guy from the MEAC or a guy from the SWAC, they're rather take a guy from the SEC or the ACC. Maybe that player from the ACC or the SEC wasn't as dominant. Maybe he was injury prone. Maybe he has some off the field issues and his draft stock just wasn't as high as everybody else's. But as a GM, what my guy Mason is saying is maybe that they're just seeing like it's a lower risk to take one of the SEC guys or the ACC guys rather than taking a guy from the MEAC or the SWAC. The reason why those GMs pull from those conferences and not the MEAC or the SWAC or the CIAA is because the experience. That's what they try to tell us. They tell us that the experience level and the competition level and et cetera, et cetera. So as a GM, would you want to take a higher risk in taking an HBCU player, or would you just go ahead and take a lower risk in taking an SEC player? As a GM, ask yourself, what would you think? Drop it in the comment section. Would you take Isaiah Land? Or would you take another player at Appalachian State who did pretty decent and had a little bit of off the field issues? I want to hear your example. What would you do? I know what I would do. I know what I'm doing. But that's not about me. It's about y'all. Let's get into the next one. I like that idea. I like that idea, Mason. Mason_the_wordsmith. I like that opinion. I love it. The next one we have is Trilla Hilfiger. Maybe because the schools some HBCUs are playing against. Basically talking about the competition level. Make sure that, just to make sure, Trilla Hilfiger, let me know in the comments. Are you talking about the competition level? Because I think so. Hopefully I'm correct. I don't like being incorrect, so hopefully I'm correct. Like Trilla Hilfiger is saying, maybe it's some of the schools that these HBCUs are playing against. Like maybe it's the conferences that they're playing against. Like for example, if Isaiah Land is dominating in that conference and his tape is good, his stats are good, what would he do against the ACC? What would he do against the best offensive tackle in the ACC? What would he do against one of the decent offensive tackles in the SEC? What would he do versus Michigan if he played them? You know, maybe that's what Trilla Hilfiger is saying, and maybe that's what some of the GMs are asking themselves. Okay, yes, he's dominating at FAMU. For example, yes, Aubrey Miller is dominating at Jackson State. Yes, Shaq Davis. Yes, Shaq Davis is dominating at South Carolina State. But what would they do if they were playing UNC? What would they do if they were playing NC State? What would they do if they were playing Texas A&M? Maybe these GMs are asking themselves, what would these guys do if they were playing a little bit better competition in a different conference? Maybe that might be what they're asking themselves. But for the players' defense, I'm playing who's in front of me. You know, I'm playing whoever is scheduled on the schedule. I can't control that. I'm just going to put together this film. I'm going to dominate in wherever I can, and I'm going to do what I do. So in the player's defense, you could say, hey, I'm just playing the person that's in front of me. Now you can try to pick somebody over me, and then I'm gonna show you why I'm still dominant. Maybe that's how the players are thinking. That might be how the GMs are thinking. So Trilly Hill figure, you might be on this song. I like that take. 2 for 2 so far. You guys are. This is why we need to start coming to y'all more. Y'all smart. Y'all smart. I like y'all opinions. We're gonna need a lot more coming up soon. Next one we got is from Chosen_1. Wait, is it Chosen_11? Because it's 1, then it's a 1. Or is it just Chosen 1? We're going to go with Chosen 1 because Chosen 11 is just is too much. Chosen 1. Sorry if I'm disrespecting you. But Chosen_1 or 11. We're going to put it like that. They need more resources and money and get away from classic games. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. I was with you when you said they need more, HBCUs need a little bit more resources and money. I'm with you on that. But the classic games? We got to get rid of the classic games, dog. So you telling me we need to get rid of the Aggie Eagle Classic, dog? We need to get rid of the Boombox Classic, dog. You come on, Chosen 1. I was rocking with you. We was cool. But you talking about getting rid of the classic games. I love me a good classic game. Because not only is it going to be a great game, but that tailgate going to be popping. I promise you. I promise you. I ain't never been to one classic game where the tailgate wasn't popping. Y'all let me know in the comment section if I'm right or wrong. Please let me know. Let me know what classic game y'all went to and the tailgate wasn't jumping. You got the Magic City Classic. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now, Chosen 1. You losing me. We was vibing, but you losing me. But no. I feel I'm right with you with the resources and the money though. I'm right there with you. HBCUs do not have the proper resources that these other big time D1 schools have. And maybe these GMs are looking into it in that type of way. Maybe these GMs are like, hey, he's not, he doesn't have the resources here, so I don't know if we want to take the chance on him. Alabama has way more resources over here, so let's just take this kid from Alabama because we know he has the resources. He already know the playbooks and stuff like that. He's at a D1. We ain't got to worry about him doing no outside stuff, X, Y, and Z. But, again, for the player's defense, a player could say, yeah, I didn't have the resources, and look what I did without those resources. So just imagine, Coach, if you gave me those resources, Coach or GM. But yeah, as a player, they can say, hey, look, I didn't have the resources. A lot of these HBCUs don't have the resources that a lot of these big D1 schools have, like indoor practice facilities and nutrition and wellness trainers and all that fancy stuff that these other places have, like a Michigan or Ohio State or Alabama or LSU. A lot of these HBCUs don't have it. Some may have a little bit of something, but not all of them. Like, for example, you got some big D1 coaches that are defensive back coach, special team coach, a punting coach, a kicking coach. At an HBCU, the wide receiver coach may be your history teacher. You never know. You may be getting the F in history, but getting the A on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the resources is not there. We all know this. The resources are not there, but that's why we need to come together and help gravitate these kids to get more resources, because what if these kids had the money? What if these kids had the resources that these other schools have? It wouldn't even be a debate at all for the student athletes, for the young players that didn't get drafted. Yes, sir, I know I didn't have the resources here, but imagine if you gave me those resources, imagine what I would do with it. I barely had a wide receiver coach. I was talking to the GM, Mr. GM, I barely had a DB coach. My DB coach was also my defensive line coach and a D coordinator all in one, so he couldn't just focus on me. So what if I just had one coach that was focused on just one position group? How do you think I would excel? How do you think that would help my game, coach? You never know. You know what I'm saying? But, Chosen 1, I like your opinion. Just the classic games, come on, dog. We gotta keep them. And the last one I'm gonna show you guys is my guy, the voice of Evan, said, scouts ain't wanna go further than prom. This statement, I can see why you would say that. I highly respect that statement, because if at one point in time, I remember Deion said that all 32 scouts had came and visited Jackson State. How many other scouts went throughout the rest of the MEAC or the SWAC? I want to know. For example, you had Jacoby Durant get drafted last year. He came from South Carolina State, which is the MEAC. How many scouts came and checked out the rest of the MEAC? Also, you had Joshua Williams from Fayetteville State, who got drafted out of Fayetteville State, who played in the CIAA. How many other scouts were in the CIAA? You feel me? So I understand that statement of what you're saying, Evan. You know, maybe scouts just didn't want to go further than prom. They maybe they seen all what prom was developing and wanted to scout from prom. And also with that, Evan, if they didn't want to go further than prom, what are scouts doing? Are GMs sending out scouts to these HBCUs? Are they sending out scouts to the MEAC? Are they sending out scouts to the SWAC? I like that statement, Evan, because I really want to know, though. Like, I would love to sit down with a GM and ask them, hey, like, have you went to go check out Southern University? Have you seen their players over there? Hey, have you went to North Carolina Central? Have you seen Davius Richards? You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, Davius Richards has balled out. I wonder, does any scout have him on his radar? I wonder, does any scouts have Davius Richards on his radar? Because there's a lot of dogs, man. It's a lot of dogs out here. Was they just not catching their eye? If you looked at the NFL draft tracker, none of the HBCU guys were popping up. None of them. So it's like, are these scouts like going to do their homework, or do they just not believe? I don't know. But yeah, y'all guys came up with some great opinions and gave us some great feedback, from Mason to Trill Hillfigure to Chosen of 1 or 11 or an Evan. We love to hear you guys' opinions. We love to hear you guys' statements and hear you guys get engaged and more involved with us, because we want to hear you guys' feedback. You know, we want to hear what you guys have to think as well. And like I stated before, we have some other topics that we want to hear you guys' feedback on as well. So make sure you're following us at HBCU Game Day, so whenever we post, you can be engaged, and maybe, who knows, you may be featured in the next YouTube video. But without further ado, it's your boy Josh from Gameday Nation. We out.